pretty unique to hear from other customers of eGain in a conference like this or any other customers. I think that's pretty cool to hear some of these stories. So now you're going to hear ours. We're the last one before break, so hopefully we won't use up all the extra time we've gotten before. So we're going to talk a little bit about Alight's journey to modernize customer care technology in a complex servicing environment, specifically focusing on knowledge management. We could talk about some of the other things at another time. I'm joined by Kim Pontecore. She is the Alight eGain Knowledge Product Owner, and I'm Eric Strom. I lead our Customer Care Solutions and Strategy Leader. So I would do a raise of hands, but I won't. We'll just go into it. A lot of you guys probably don't know Alight or Alight Solutions. We've had a couple different names over the years, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about what we do, who we are, and why we're complex. Maybe some similar themes that we've heard from some of the other presentations, but I think it sets that context of the journey we went through with eGain and currently keep going with eGain that Kim will talk about. So Alight, we are in the business of powering confident decisions for life. We take on mission-critical services across health, wealth, payroll, HR, well-being for some of the largest corporations in the world and government agencies across the globe. We engage with employees of our clients on a daily basis across the globe, both digitally and through live channels across some of the most personal and critical decisions that people need to make, such as healthcare navigation. So you just get diagnosed with a disease. We interact and engage with you then. Retirement from a corporation and the decisions that need to be made when you retire. And what's going on starting now, every year you make your healthcare enrollments for your companies are in. A lot of our clients hire us to engage with you through those enrollment processes. So it's a lot of decisions that that are critical in your life events, we call them, moments that matter, we call them. A little bit more detail about Alight, just more tactically, 4,300 clients. We are a very client-centric organization, and you're going to see that throughout our presentation of why we become a very complex servicing organization because of our client centricity. We serve 30 million employees and their families across these clients. 50 plus global delivery centers, of which about half of them have customer care, customer service organizations within them, 16,000 colleagues. Probably the biggest thing to take out of this is we are a B2B2C organization. Companies hire us to engage with their employees. It becomes a very captive customer service interaction, engagement type of model, where your only choice is to contact us. Your only choice is to engage with us on the website. And if you don't like what you hear or see, or you want to answer shop, you're either calling back to us, you're calling your CEO, you're calling our CEO. We don't sell anything. We are 100% service. And that adds a bit of a different twist. Client-centric service, because all of our clients have different plans, different regulations to follow, different compliance, different 401k plans, all of that complexity there. Alight Solutions, a couple years ago, started to transform from what was considered to be an outsourcing company, an administrative support company, and we've transformed it to an engagement company. We want to engage with the employees on their health, wealth, well-being, HR-related interactions. So we launched Alight Work Life, which is our engagement platform. It includes customer care. It's a digital platform, but it includes comprehensive customer care. And I included this slide in there just so you could see sort of our wide breadth of various content and various services that we provide across all of those different areas. So, 4,300 or so clients, 30 million members, all of these wide range of spectrum that clients hire us because they expect us to go deep. Just imagine you're basically talking to your HR, your benefits department of your company. you would expect them to know what they're talking about. Every call, every day. So knowledge specifically becomes super duper important, but it's knowledge for my company, not knowledge across the board. It gets very, very client-centric and very specific, which when Kim talks about what we worked on and set up on the Knowledge Hub, you'll see where some of this starts to spiral out of a bit, and we can't just set up one portal for all the agents to use across all the clients, across all of these different areas. In the customer care organization, we had to transform. We couldn't just be transactional in the service center. I've seen digital first, I think, on almost every other presentation. All of the organizations are moving that way. We have a mobile app, but it's a mobile app by client. It's a website by client. So if you work for client A, you see something different than client B. And that then translates to how we get customers into the center through the digital channels, IVA, web chat, etc. And then when you're into the center, it's tailored. It has to be tailored. We're not script-based, because again, we'd have 10,000 scripts. We have to be tailored. And we're now moving into this area of using data, AI, smart routing, to be able to get the customer to the right expert or the right person the first time. And then when they get to the agent, they have the right tools. And again, we've transformed, I'll show you a slide in a couple seconds around, we're transforming a lot of different technology. We're going to focus on knowledge today, but it's really technology that focuses on getting that information to the agent for the right client, for the right service, based on whatever data we could gather throughout the way. But technology enabled for our agents is extremely important. Just some scale that we have, 8,000 agents. So 8,000 agents, 26 million interactions a year. Put that on top of the 4,300 clients, you get to that complexity. We actually run probably close to 200 distinct call centers within our call center organization. Because one agent, we talked about one agent handling more. One agent in our world can't handle 100 different companies. You just can't. So we have to set up pretty distinct centers. So we have 180 different the centers that go with that. We have a pretty robust IVA system that helps really deflect some of those lower tier 1, tier 0 type calls. So what's coming into the center are those high touch situations. So where does knowledge management fit in? And then I'll hand it over to Kim to talk about the rest. I'm not going to talk about this whole slide, but this is everything we have. It just shows our complete ecosystem there. Knowledge Central, right in the middle of our platform, that we are in the middle of transforming, getting to the cloud, creating a new desktop to really help with our engagement focus there. But knowledge is smack dab in the middle. And just based on all this complexity, we challenge every one of our technology vendors. Not just eGain, we definitely have challenged them, but we challenge every one of ours because of the fact that we have that complex sort of internal structure and client centricity. We have 10,000 different route points coming in from our telephony side. We challenge them, but with eGain specifically and with our knowledge management system, we needed a system and a technology that could handle that client centricity, the compliant nature of our business, the ability to be standard for the agent, but again, specific to that client. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kim to talk a little bit more about our journey with eGain and show you the success that we've had.
Okay, well, good afternoon. Again, my name is Kim Pontecore. I'm here to talk about our transformation over the last couple of years. So first, why did we need a new knowledge hub? We had quite a bit of challenges at Alight. We had multiple different applications across our line of business. We had multiple applications within a line of business. We had our individual client team saying, hey, we don't like any of this and we're going to build it ourselves. And so across all those applications, it just simply wasn't working for everybody, especially our large global HR clients. In addition, we were in a centralized authoring model. and authoring updates were taking too long to hit production. So what was happening is that our individual client teams would submit a request, and they'd have to wait for it to get updated. But those agents needed that content like now. And so our client teams were then putting that content somewhere else. And sometimes they'd update the main tools, and sometimes they wouldn't. And so what ended up happening is we had a lack of a single version of the truth, which eroded the confidence that our agents had in the knowledge, led to longer hold times. And in our new hire arena, the attrition was pretty high because they had to come in and they had to learn all these different tools, and it was just simply overwhelming. In addition, in our large market benefit arena, we have a delivery model where we have our agents answering calls across multiple clients. And we hit a ceiling because of the state of our knowledge tools where we couldn't add more clients to our agents because they simply couldn't handle the multiple tools. And so we needed change. We also didn't have enough reporting available to us so that we could make educated decisions about content redesign as well. So from there, we had to determine what our strategy was going to be. What did we need? We did a lot of listening. We did listening sessions across all different levels of experience for our agents. We talked to authors, administrators, we talked to managers and customer service leaders to determine what really was the need for knowledge. And what it came down to is we needed one tool, just one that worked for all of our lines of business. And it was a single point of entry with all the different lines of business that we do have. We have multiple CRMs. We wanted them to be able to access the Knowledge Hub in the same way across those CRMs. And we had a slogan. After all the listening that we did, it came out that knowledge was not easy, and we needed to make it a lot easier. And so from there, we then delved into 3 different areas. What was going to be our requirements for the agents, for the authors, and then for the technology itself. So for our agents, we've been beyond just the make it easy in terms of navigation, search, and all of the traditional items. It was also that we needed to get to a specific and consistent design, meaning that if somebody called in and said, I need to add my new baby to my plan, that they went to the same spot to find the content across clients, and that it was also designed the same, so that they could then trust that they could go there no matter what, and that was going to help us scale and add more clients. We also had to do a better job at distinguishing visually between our clients, so that they knew when they got a call for client A, that they were in client A's portal versus client B. With our authoring, again, the slogan of make it easy, especially in the publishing arena, but the big thing we did is decentralize the publishing. We put it back to the client team, so that if an agent needed an update now, they could get it now. They didn't have to wait. For technology, it was all about scale, and not scale in the traditional sense of how many users do you have and number of articles and what are the size of those articles. It was how our agents were going to be interacting with the portals. We were going to have hundreds of portals, so we had to look at how the agents were going to be interacting in terms of what kind of queries, what happens when they open up the portal, what happens if we have 8,000 people opening the portal at the same time. So it was looking across from a scale, can we scale everywhere, including our seasonal volume. I'm sure some of you have already gotten emails from your employers about, hey, you need to renew your benefits. Annual enrollment is something that is very big for us. We double and triple our call volume during that time, and we needed the application to be flexible, to be able to scale during those periods in terms of number of users, in terms of content, in terms of how many people are in there authoring. Okay, so then we had our strategy, and then we had to go shop for vendors. So why did we pick Egain? We picked Egain just based on their range of knowledge capabilities, and also that they really met all the requirements that I just talked about before. But more specifically, there were features that our agents had been asking for years. Simple things like bookmarking and recently updated articles, and we just couldn't provide that to them technically before Egain, and that has been very well received. But bottom line, we had whittled it down to 2 vendors. and they had similar knowledge capabilities, but why we ended up selecting eGain was because, one, they showed a depth of knowledge in us as a client and our complexity. They were also willing to be flexible to come up with some custom solutions for some of the things that we were asking for that helps us deal with our scale. So then the fun stuff began, because now we were ready. We were ready to actually build a solution, and that's kind of the fun part, to see your vision come to play. So we looked at 3 areas again that we kind of dug into. We looked at content import, content redesign, and then what was our portal design going to be, the look and feel of what our agents would be using. From a content import perspective, we made a very conscious decision that we would be lifting and shifting as is what we had into the existing application, and that was simply for rapid deployment. With hundreds of clients, we couldn't afford to redesign every single article. We had to be very focused in what we chose to do in that arena. So we did build multiple importers. Some of them we did in-house, and eGain helped us with a couple of them as well. From a redesign perspective, we did redesign some of our topics, but we used data to get there. We had one CRM that gave us enough information on article usage to help us understand what needed to get redesigned first. So we took that data and we bumped it up against our call topic data, and of course it was the same. So we redesigned 9 to 10 topics. And the critical piece of it is that with the decentralized authoring, we had our authors redesign those topics before our live date so that they knew the application and could support the agents on their live date as well. We're close to KCS. We haven't followed it completely because our agents don't have enough time in between phone calls to be true authors. But we have a role on each of our client teams that are accountable for the quality of the applications that they use. And so we put that authoring on that particular role in the center, and that's been well received as well. From a portal perspective, it was very critical to us that we had a standard design, meaning that the look and feel was the same, but we could brand it for our clients. So we ended up with 3 approaches to our portals. For the most part, we have 1 client per portal. For our large global clients, they can have multiple portals per client. Or if we don't have a lot of content per portal based on whatever the design of the particular line of business is, then they can have lots of clients within a single portal. So let's show you what it looks like, okay? We think it's great. We love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Okay, so this is Alight's portal. So if I, as an employee of Alight, call into our benefit center, the agent will use this portal to answer my phone call. So first off, the branding is the yellow. So yellow is part of Alight's colors. So that big banner at the top is Alight, and then down here on the topics, you can see the yellow underneath the topics. We carried the color down. And then our logo is in the top left. And then you can see there at the top, it's a little small for the folks in the back. Sorry for that. But it's the name of the service center, their hours, their phone number, and then the website that they can go to out there to see their benefits. This is consistent for every single client using this portal. It's in the same spot for everybody. Then down here, these tiles that you see here, this is specific to whatever it is that we're administering for the client. So this isn't going to look the same for every client. But for the most part, we try and keep the order the same. What's been useful here, you can see the search at the top. There's multiple different ways to navigate within this portal, which was critical for us because we have legacy agents that have been with us for a long time who just want to manually navigate like they've always manually navigated through a portal. And then we have our folks that come in for annual enrollment who they're like, why can't you just give me a search box? I don't want to do this manual navigation stuff, right? So there's multiple different ways. So if somebody selects that annual enrollment tile over there, they're going to get what we call a call topic. So this is a major call topic for us. And you can see here, you can have articles underneath annual enrollment, and then you can have additional tiles as well. So you can break down that large topic that we've got into multiple subtopics. If they want to get back to the home page, they can use this left-hand navigation here. They can go back up and do a search within this topic now. So they're not searching across the whole database, they're searching within the topic here. Or if they want to go back to the home page, they can just click the logo and they can go right back. If they're answering calls across multiple clients, we have a nifty portal switcher feature. This is a custom piece that they built for us. You click on my name up there, and they click on portals, and it'll bring up a whole list of all the portals that they have access to, and they can switch back and forth. And one of the things I didn't mention before, but this is a single design template. We have one that fuels all of our portals. And we did that on purpose because if we wanted to do any continuous improvement, we couldn't have multiple templates, or else we'd have to do it 700 times for every new feature that we deployed. So this is a single one, and it is custom. It's not out of box. Okay, so now let's say I have a question about my eligibility for enrollment. Then you can click on an article, and this is what our article looks like. This is the out-of-box template. We weren't interested in trying to customize this article template. It is the base out-of-box template. We do heavy use of these little plus signs that you see here. And if you click on them, it opens, and you can see how the content is laid out there. The other nifty feature of the design template is this expand all, collapse all button that you see there. We have some lines of business that we shifted wholesale into it, and they have really long articles. And so you can click on that expand all, it'll open up all of the plus signs, and then they can manually navigate with this piece over here, where it says in this section. So and they can bounce back and forth and up and down within the article. Okay. So now we had built it, now we had to deploy this, and we had to decide who was going first. So this was our deployment strategy. So we started development in April of 2020. What's really critical about that date, that was the start of the pandemic. Yay! All right, way to go. So, and that presented some challenges to us because Egain couldn't come on site and play around with our tools and listen to calls and kind of see how they interact. We had to build importers for some of our content, and we could send them disparate files, but the only thing we could do was do a call and screen share and record it, and they can go back and look at it. And so that was challenging. How do you build a portal when you can't, build a design when you can't get in there and really see your customer's content? But I think they did a good job, right? Yeah, I think our portals look pretty good. 6 months after development, we went live. The order of our phases were driven based on data, so we wanted to reduce that hold time. So we went and we looked at all of our lines of business and said, where's all call volume coming in? What domain is it coming in on? And we were very targeted with who went first. So who went first were our big clients with more than 10,000 employees who were also in that multi-client design, meaning they were answering calls across multiple clients, because that's one of the things that we needed to scale. So our large market went first. That was around 200 portals. And then we had our whole strategy going, and the firm said, guess what? We're retiring this tool, and you have 9 months to do it. And we had 350 some odd clients in those tools, so we had to turn on a dime and build importers and get all these clients into Egain. And then we just recently went live with our spending account division, which is only 2 portals, but they're the largest number of users. There's over 850 some odd users to these 2 portals. And then we'll keep going. We're retiring some tools by the end of the year, and then phase 6 is what we're in now. We're just starting to work with a couple more of our lines of business. So, okay, so where are we now in terms of scale? Because we talked about how important that was for us. So we have over 700 portals, about over 500,000 articles and 8,600 users, and I just checked this morning, we're at 9,300 because we are in annual enrollment, so we're constantly adding people. What?
We keep hiring.
Yeah, we keep hiring. Yes, gives me as an administrator, a heart attack. How many users are we today? Do we have enough users today? Do we have enough licenses? So we have over 500 authors, and the training for the authors has been very easy. We have no formal training program. We have a bunch of SOPs. One author trains the other, and off you go. Very simple. 5 million sessions since 2020. 16.5 million searches, but this is probably the biggest piece for scale. This is where we are since the first of the year, 2.3 million article views a month. But I'm happy to say by the end of the year, we will have retired 3 legacy applications. So we're pretty excited about this, and we're really proud of our progress as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back to Eric. Go.
Yeah, when leadership sees that the tools are being used 2-3 million times a month, they're like, all right, what else can we do with this data? What else can we do with this? It's actually our highest used technology within our company, our sort of administrative outsourcing side of the company. So lots of great press for it. But like Kim said, we're not done. And in fact, we need to use the content that we have for other things, and I think that's been a common theme even with some of the keynotes today. Well, one thing we did first, and we're starting to roll this out, once our clients saw what we were doing with their content, they wanted in. They wanted to see it. They're like, we don't have repositories like this even in our company. We want to use some of this. So we created, again with eGain's help, access in through our employer portal. So if you're an HR manager or the director of benefits, you could log in and go right in to the content and now see it. They can't author it. We stopped there, but they could actually see it, and it actually gives them confidence in us that we have all the right information. Because that was another big battle we always had in the past. We'd have to screen print it and send it to them, and they'd take their red pen and write it and bring it back. Now we have a much more collaborative thing. Then we want to integrate. Right now it's a standalone tool. There is a launch point from our desktop so that the agent doesn't necessarily have to go down and pick out the specific client portal. That system knows what portal to open, but we want to pass more data back and forth. And in fact, I mean, a lot of stuff they're showing in the demo, the demo cafe there goes into that. How do we get to the instant answer, the agent assist, the automation of search using conversational AI? How do we get the data from eGain into our data warehouse so we could do a lot more integrative work and analysis there? And really then finally, it's how do we help the agent? So the agent needs this content. They're using it 2.3 million times a month. How do we make it easier for them to do it? How do we push more? How do we make it, we didn't do a lot, as Kim said, we didn't do a lot of transformation of the art. It was just too much. And we went too fast. Now we're like, all right, how do we proactively push the content that they need without having to redesign 500,000 articles? So how do we work that strategy? And eGain's partnering with us on that. But hopefully you see, it's great again hearing from everyone where they are. When we talk to eGain and coming in here, they're like, oh, you got to tell your portal story. I'm like, I don't know if we recommend 1,000 portals for everyone.
We'll be at 1,000 by the time we're done.
We're going to be at 1,000 portals. No, but there's something to it where you could get to the personalization, you could get to some of this distinct, deeper level knowledge, maybe in a different way, and hopefully we show that that's possible here. So appreciate the time, and if you have any other questions, let us know out in the pool party, I guess, today. Thanks.
Thank you.